how to how to plan out for a weekend instead of just coming out to the market and shopping for a day.
Yeah.
Talking about you can actually save some money doing that. How to buy in bulk instead of just buying a single bit of something.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I do.
Market, talking about some different things too, how to utilize product, how to utilize the food around the market, and make it work for you guys. Make it work that so you can come out once a week. You can do your shopping, and it's going to last till the next day of the market. We've got a very unique opportunity in the Midwest, especially to really grasp that quick season that we have here. Of course, it's a couple weeks late, so we don't have a lot of product to utilize right now. There's more plants and stuff now, but just to kind of get in the mood while you're shopping over the next few months, to kind of help out the community and help out your homes as well at the same time. A couple things, you have this handout here. We'll kind of go through this a little bit. This is basically, I just put this together, some different tips and things to think about as you're shopping through the market. You're taking a look at, number one, basically seasonality and product. A couple things with seasonal food, and it's very important to me as a chef. I'm right here in Woodstock, and so I try to buy locally when I can. Of course, like I said, the quick season, but it's so important to buy seasonally because of a couple different reasons. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. There's for a couple different reasons. One is, first of all, of course, the products. The products never tasted so good during the peak season. And the other thing is, it's easier on your pocketbooks during peak season. If you've ever bought tomatoes in the wintertime, you realize that they're about double the price, as they are in the summer because of how they have to be shipped in, how they have to be grown, etc. So this is kind of a great way to grab that and buy in bulk, as you will, through the weekend. Another thing to think about too is getting to know your farmer as well. As you go through the season, you'll be looking at different produce things. Some things you may not have ever worked with before, some things you've never seen before. It's good to get to know the farmers around here because farmers grow what they like to eat. I cook what I like to eat. They like to grow what they like to eat. So it's important to get to know them to find out how they utilize their food. Okay, it's very important as far as getting to eat different stuff, getting to eat local foods, and just knowing some different cooking techniques as well. Another thing is what I touched on originally is don't just shop for today, shop for the weekend, shop till Monday, shop through whatever. So a lot of that's going to be, and I'm kind of a procrastinator when it comes to this stuff too, is plan ahead. Okay, plan your meals ahead when you're shopping. You only have a couple days a week to do your shopping at the market if that's something you're looking to do, but try to get those ingredients and try to get them at one time, okay? So, of course, it's going to take a little planning on your part to go ahead and look at your daily menus, but we can get creative with that as well. Another thing, is that we've talked about too is spontaneity. And that has to do with talking to the farmers about specialty products that you've maybe have never been used to using, used to cooking with. Get used to buying something different. All right, you'll never know what you run into. I always make the example, especially at the farmers market, kohlrabi. How many people know how to use kohlrabi? Not that many. I see one here in the audience. Yeah. There's one back there that knows how to use it. But there's some unique ways that that you can utilize those products and some very good techniques. But that comes back to talking to the farmer. I'll skip through a couple of these, but another one to really talk about is to be creative. When you're talking about being creative, many different levels. When you're putting your menus and stuff together at home, but also be creative when you're utilizing extra product, okay? Let's say you wanted to buy tomatoes today because you want to have a nice caprese salad at home. You want to do something for tonight. Now you have a leftover half a tomato. Maybe you have a couple pieces of asparagus left from last night. Maybe you have some different things. So some different things to think about that you can utilize. I'm just gonna, we have some extra stuff here. Some of this stuff, of course, isn't in season like the tomato, but we'll kind of use this as an example. A couple of things very simply that you can do when you have extra ingredients is make it last the weekend. All right. Right now, I'm just gonna make just a very, very quick, easy, simple little relish that you can use either on top of a salad. Just dip it with some bread. But we have a couple pieces of asparagus. We're just gonna cut it nice and thin. Throw that in there. We've got some greens left over. We've got maybe a few pieces of lettuce because you used half of this last night. course, this isn't clean right now, so we won't be tasting this, but we'll be doing tasting next week. And then just throwing a nice little simple vinaigrette together right in a bowl. Maybe a few sesame, maybe a little squeeze of lemon. Now you've got just a nice little fresh salad that you can top with anything. You can put it on top of a sandwich, you can put it on a piece of bread, but now we're not wasting the products. You know, one of the biggest thing that I have, of course, in the restaurant business is waste is such a big problem. Right now in the United States, 50% of the food that is grown is thrown away. So that goes all across the U.S. with all the produce. So if you think about the produce, what they have left over at the end of the day, if they don't get sold, it goes right in the garbage. So if you think about all of our fields that are covered in produce, half of those fields will not be eaten. Okay, so that's kind of a shame. Back in the 1950s and 60s, when people got into preserving foods and canning, it was a lot better. But now food has become cheaper, and we've kind of lost a lot of those techniques. So we're trying to bring some of that stuff back. And one of the ways we can do is just kind of using our own fridges and use them as a tool to make more meals and getting through the day. All right. Another, this is a seasonal, item, a rhubarb. We can make jams. We can make strawberry rhubarb pie. But what else can you do with rhubarb to kind of get through? You have a recipe that calls for three stalks of rhubarb, but you have one left over. Well, what can we do with it? That's the one question is that I always ask myself in the kitchen is what can we do with it? Well, what I've done sometimes, and this is just an idea, is take the rhubarb, cut it up thin. We'll saute it with a little bit of sugar, add a little bit of water, and make it and reduce it down, and then make a vinaigrette out of it. Put it in a blender. Add some vinegar, add a little bit of oil, and now you have a rhubarb vinaigrette that can go on top of your salad. Okay, so that's a way that you don't have to throw that piece out. You can go ahead and transfer that to a recipe. Okay. The other thing we talked about too is utilization of product, but being creative. And like I said, being creative in the kitchen, and that just takes a matter of you guys opening up the fridge and seeing what is available. You guys have any questions about anything or any different questions or ideas that may come about? A basic vinaigrette, just an easy vinaigrette is 1 part vinegar, 2 parts oil. That's for a basic vinaigrette across the board. You can utilize that, and the vinegars are interchangeable. Usually my vinaigrettes, I usually add a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt. We're going to get more into, I'm doing a cooking demonstration next Saturday, so we kind of get more into different recipes and different things that utilize this kind of stuff and these kind of ideas and principles. But just a way to go out and shop the market, to really plan ahead for the season. I don't really have anything else. I mean, the guides that I kind of gave you will kind of just talk about the seasonality on that 3rd page. It's a tool that I use not only when I do my shopping in the market, but also I do in the kitchen. And that just kind of, and that kind of. That's just kind of a helpful tool. Like I said, everything is a couple weeks behind right now this year, so it's a little bit more difficult to go out and find these things today. But in the next coming weeks, kind of get thinking about this as we go forward into the summertime. All right? That's great. You're welcome. You're welcome. But really, we're working on having a sustainable campus, basically. So we will have, we'll be able to, with some of the vegetable gardens, we'll be able to, supplement some of our goods. But of course, we can't do all of it. There's just too much.